11 best SEO free tools for business websites. These 11 best SEO free tools we are going to discuss today are going to be one of the most fundamental, if not one of the most essential setups for your business. And for connections for business, then there are things that you would expect your website to do for you that is supposed to operate as a business would. So when you are creating content on social media, you also have the ability to create content on your website, because that's where you have your content coming from first. So if you have content coming from your website first, then there are tools that you need to use, like in a toolbox, to take care of things that would require fixing or would require building or connecting or integrating. So if you think about all the integrations from one end of the, I can say, client server side to the other side, which is now when you think about the host servers, you think about the domains, you think about your technical setup, you think about your website, you think about your space, your ecosystem, then all this is going to be a big role in the delivery of what you're actually giving back or what you're getting back. Because if you think about your business and you think about where you're taking your business to in 2026, then your business is going to be one of those monumental points of access, how somebody can connect with you or learn from you or be in the space with you. So one of the things that I'm excited about talking about here with you today is on the 11 best SEO free tools for business websites. Hey, Tanita, good to see you, Al and Kolapa. If you have any questions and as people come into the room, please make sure you can put in the chat or raise your hand and we'll be able to talk about it today. So we're going to kick off with the first one, and I'm going to do a drum roll for the first one, and I'll probably do a drum roll for the last one. The first SEO free tool that would be best for your business website is going to be none other than Google Search Console. Hey, Rocky. Console is your best friend.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Nothing.
Happy Taco Tuesday, though. Thank you for being here. And I'm excited that we're, talking about this topic about free tools, because who doesn't love free tools? But I also feel like if it's free, some people ignore it because it's free, or despise it because it's free, or neglect it because it's free. I don't know. I think we just have to figure it out today and see what that looks like. But essentially, you want to make sure you have the right tools in place that are free, that are given to you freely, that you should use freely. If it's not done, then it's not connected, it's going to be hard to scale. And I want us to be able to scale in a very healthy way. So we're going to make sure that we get this done as well. So we're talking about Google Search Console as we just kicked this off just now. So Google Search Console is a place of growth. It's a place of, I would say, discovery. Because if you're not on Google Search Console, you don't have any verification or identification with connecting the dots back from your website to Google's website. Because when you're connecting to Google, Google is a website already. So you're connecting your website to Google's website. So you have to make a match, right? You meet somebody, you like somebody, the person likes you too. It's a match, right? That match is made in heaven. It's a match that means that there is a connection between two parts, right? So when there's a yin and yang, you now know that you have to look at it from the perspective of what am I connecting and why am I connecting? So Google Search Console is your best friend. For those who do not know about Google Search Console, which is different completely from Google Analytics, which we're also going to come to, that will be the second one. So I'm just giving you guys a quick heads up. So Google Analytics is not Google Search Console. So that means within Google Search Console, you want to have your website connected and verified through Google. And there are three ways you can do this, but I'll recommend the first way. The other two ways you can do it, but that's up to you. And I would say there are even more ways within the third one that are subpar, but I want to just give you the one that is accessible, straightforward, and easy, because it really is complicated as it already sounds. Maybe, but I want this to be as simple and as 1, 2, 3, ABC easy, so that you can do it on your own and do it well. And then when it's time to scale, we can now discuss and talk about planning, investing, development, research, all the good stuff. But setting these things up, it would even save us time because we wouldn't have to do this on a call because it has already been done. So we're saving each other time. That's why I'm starting ahead of time to give you this information now. So Google Search Console is free. So go to Google Search Console, and how you go there is go to google.com and then type in Google space search space console, enter. Simply that. When you see the results, you're going to see Google Search Console, hit it. You're going to see a Start Now button that's going to be to your left side. When you hit that, and you've connected to your account, this is the part I really want to make mention of, because if I skip this part, it would be a disservice to you, and I don't want you to skip this because you may not know. You may not even be aware. You may be unaware. When you click that Start Now button, it's going to open up your Google Search Console. So by default, it's going to have you on the Google account, or I can say the Google account that you are connected to currently. So if you're connected to Google, then you're connected to Google on one website, or you're connected to Google on one email account, right? And every Google account is a verified owner. So you can't have two verified owners. It's one. Because the verified owner is you can have co-owners, but the verified owner is going to be one, and that one is going to be your email. So when you have your email and it's connected, and that's the one you want to connect to, which is going to be towards the top right hand corner of your screen. I'm not even looking at my screen, and I can see this visually because I am always there. So top right hand corner, you will see the little circle. And when you hit on it, you'll see either your letter name, your first name, letter name, or you'll see a avatar. When you click on it, you can choose the Google account that you want to switch to if that's not the one you want to use for verification. Then to the left side, you're going to see two things. You're going to see kind of like left brain, right brain. You're going to see a section on the left and a section on the right. Use the one on the left. Don't even touch the one on the right. Most people go to the right. I don't know why. And then it just messes them up. Just start off with the left. Because when you look at the screen, I'm literally expressing this and telling you this so you can actually see it too. When you see the screen, what happens is on the left side, the white box is going to tell you about your domain. And there's going to be a little hierarchy icon or legend, and you're going to see within that legend a blue rectangle. Now that blue rectangle is going to be positioned at the top. So if you think about like an organizational chart and you look at the top, the drop down, the subordinates or the subfolders, whatever you want to call it, you see them in different sections. Now the blue dot is going to show you where it's positioning from or where it's anchoring from. So if it's anchoring from the top, like an organizational chart, then that means that's the top and that's what you want to focus on. If you look at the right side, you're going to see the blue rectangle is going to be not at the top, it's going to be to the side. And it's going to say URL prefix. You don't want that because the prefix means that you're not giving it the full domain authority. You're not giving it the full domain. It's kind of like you're not walking through the right path. You're just not seeing the right way, which you can, but you're not taking it because it's not your first choice. So the goal is to make that your first choice. So you just put in your domain to the left and you just say domain.com, or your website, put it there without the www. When you hit enter and you're now waiting for it to verify, you're going to get three options. There are three results you're going to get. You're either going to get a green bar, which is good, or you're going to get a gray bar, which means you haven't verified your account, which means that your website would be like this to Google. And the third one is the red bar. And the red bar means that you haven't connected to Google and something went wrong when you now authenticated the service. So it will sound like this. Those three sounds are what you're going to either see on your screen visually or experience sonically. So you want to be on the green bar. The green bar means that you have claimed your property. And you don't have to do that every time, especially when you've claimed it the first time. As soon as you hit enter, you're always going to be seeing your dashboard. So that's the first thing. When you have that, it's there. Why is Google Search Console important? Because Google Search Console is the internet service provider for Google. We're on Clubhouse right now. If you didn't have mobile network or Wi-Fi, you would not be in this room right now. So that's the same effect that takes place if you're not on Google Search Console. You're not available to Google because Google does not know your website. So the goal is to be on Google so that you can be within the internet search engine that Google has where you can connect to. So when you want to do that and you're thinking about an SEO free tool, you want to know how that plays into your next step. And doing that consistently is not going to be something that you want to rush. It's something you want to start. And this is a quick thing I want to mention, and I'd love to hear from you, Pierre, and also Rocky, is this. The earlier you set up your domain property on Google, in other words, the earlier you claim your website on Google by verification, within your DNS, which is something that you'll see as an operation, you have to just copy paste. It's very easy to do. But if you don't do that manual action, then, and only then, you will realize that if you don't do that early, you'll be missing out on data you could be able to use years from now. Because Google is only going to give you analytics, which is going to be our second best SEO free tool, is going to be what's going to determine what's going to happen within Google Analytics when you now associate it back to Google Search Console. People don't associate it back to Search Console. They just keep them separate, but you're supposed to associate them. There's a section in your Search Console to associate your analytics back to your Search Console. There's a process for that. So when you don't do that, or if you don't do that and you don't create that space where you have your Google Search Console connected to Google, it's going to be hard for people to find you. You can write blogs on ChatGPT, you can do all the AI stuff, you can do all the Canva stuff and post away. But if Google has no information or base or database or inventory of your brand, it will be hard for even other businesses or other bots like ChatGPT and the rest of them, Cloud, to be able to scan back to your site and actually give you first respondents to the people that are searching for your content. So I'd love to hear from you, Pierre, and also Rocky.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Just wanted to, I'm just kind of just joining in a little bit. So, Search Console, the one thing I want to share is that its history is really much about how a web page is loaded into the browser. Its history goes back, it's a little bit technical. It goes back to even before Google Analytics. It used to be called Google Webmaster Tools. And even Bing has a variation of it called Bing Webmaster Tools. And it came up at a time when browsers usually were released with some sort of software to help you understand when a web page is actually loaded based off of search. And so that helped you in a lot of ways in figuring out if your page is how your page is being queried, if it was being queried for certain words repeatedly to some extent. And they've improved the reporting since the name change to Search Console over the years. I'm still not up on the AI stuff as much as trying to get caught up to speed right now because there's a lot of changes for Google Analytics as well. But you can use it as sort of a general indicator of confirming if your page is being loaded into the browser on a search or being queried for certain terms in a search. And I can give you some ideas of what you really want to do with that tool is get a sense of, what is it that's actually attracting people to your site versus what you've planned to attract to your site, which is what an SEO plan is really about, basically. But it is a good tool for that.
Thank you, Pierre. Yeah, it's definitely a great way. And I always love starting off with Google before going to Bing, because most times if you start off with Bing without starting off with Google, you have to do it manually. But with Bing, you can import your search console from Google to Bing, and then you get verified on two platforms with the same account. So it's easier for you. And then I always go even within a third layer, which is what I'm going to talk about too as well today, which is called Microsoft Clarity. I'm looking on my screen right now and I'm actually looking at it right now. So there's some things I'm going to tell you about, especially when it comes to AI visibility and how do you actually get found on these platforms. You can use these free tools and connect away. But if you're not receiving feedback loops or any type of tracking or any type of analytics that would tell you what's going on to be able to determine what to do next, then it's just going to be data points. But I want them to turn from data points to extensions and actually real connections that you want to make with real people in the real world. So using these tools changes how you process and how things work. So when you're able to know, okay, someone's listening to my podcast episode and they live in this city, then why not run ads to this city? Because people are looking for me in real time within this first week or second week. People have payment roll, I'll say payroll, the first week, second week, third week, fourth week. You don't know when that is. So when they're planning, when it's businesses, they're businesses that may take 45 days before they, go through the process. I remember working with a business and we had to change one thing on the website. And it took about 3 months for us to change that. 3 months to change one thing because there are processes within different corporations. It can't just be that. It can't just be straightforward. So when you look at those things, you have to look at the long-term effect of these applications so that when you now apply them to your website and you start receiving feedback, it changes everything for you. So these are the things that we're going to really, really dive into today. And you can check them out for yourself. They're free. They're free. So I want you to be able to check them out. So freely given, freely give. Welcome, Celeste. Rocky, we'd love to hear from you too. What are your thoughts on the conversation?
I love me some Google Search Console. My question is, because I didn't get found, I guess, by Google until I put myself on Google Search Console. Is it possible for a site to be found if they were never on Google Search Console?
Great question. So by default, you can be on Google Search Console because some people may have, and we're going to go through all the tools because there are 11 of them, and either one of them you might end up on, and that still translates back because Google is still the business, but there are different verticals within the business. There's Google Sheets, that's the product line, Google Analytics, there's Google Search Console. So you can be on Google Search Console and be on Google. And now to your question on can you be on Google without being on Search Console? The best way to find out, I really love to do this and test because I don't like to give fluff. So I'm going to give you the real test and test it for yourself. So that's how you'll actually know. You'll see your results right there. And if you don't see it, then that means Google does not know you. If you see it, then Google knows about you. And then there's more information within the text, within the context. So we'll dive a little bit deeper into that. So we can be able to now do that. And if you do it this way, go to Google and type in these words, and I'm going to put them in the chat. Type in SITE, full colon, yourdomain.com, and then hit enter. When you hit enter, whatever you see there is what Google knows about you. And by default, even if you've not done this practice for Google Search Console, you may still get some results because you do have a sitemap which is connected, which could happen by your crawl budget, which is a whole different discussion. But when it comes to ranking, being visible, being relevant, being in real time today, these are the kind of steps that you'd want to take as well. So we'd love to hear from you as well, Pierre.
Yeah, and I think Favor, you have the right idea as well. I think the short answer is you are, I'm going to put air quotes around it, discoverable, but you won't have an idea of what is driving that discovery. That's kind of at the heart of what analytics and what SEO is supposed to be about, basically. There, like I said earlier, there is a beyond Google Search Console, there is still technically a Bing. I think they still call it Webmaster Tools, which I kind of think is a little dated, if you want to be honest. But the point of that is that you're trying to figure out, relative to a search engine, what you're being discovered for. That's kind of the secret sauce of this, basically. And that can vary a little bit based on the content you're providing. It can vary from what you've had planned. I always talk about apple cobblers. I'm not going to do the apple cobbler and apple pie thing. But the products and services that you start off with as a business are the things that you want to get discovered for, for SEO. And it can be a little bit of a slog in some cases because you're trying to produce a lot of content, whether it's video, whether it's written, and you want to be able to have take advantage from an SEO standpoint, how those things are labeled from HTML to basically, how tags are for your videos and so forth. But no matter how good you are at it, you may not be discovered for every service all the time in a way that you may like. So you have to kind of figure out adjustments. And that's really what a Search Console and Google Analytics to a certain extent is supposed to help you do. It's really helping you to kind of see what is it that you're being discovered for. And then you as the business owner, you really are asking yourself, is this really what I want to be discovered for? That last question, by the way, can be a very simple business question. You may start off with maybe let's say laptop repair and mobile phone repair, and you discover that mobile phones is what's really kind of bringing in the bacon every month in terms of revenue, sales, and customer interest. But you find from your search that you still are kind of heavy on being discovered for laptops repair. So you need to make adjustments in the content you provide and even, really frankly, even the advertising that you try to do. And that's what search should help you to do at some point. Back to you, Favor. I just wanted to share that.
Thank you, Pierre. Rocky, did that help? I'd love to come to you as well. Celeste, welcome. GA, Maria, good to see you as well. Dr. Ali. There's a study that was done, and you guys can do your research on this too. It takes about, on average, between, and maybe if you really want to see how true this is, test yourself. Try this out yourself and put a timer and then actually get to see the result. That way, I think it's the best form of action for you to see what I'm about to say, because I don't want you to hear it as a guess. I want you to actually test it, because these things, you have to test them. You're not going to know if you don't test. So there's an average range between the time people find your Google link or your website, your web page link within Google. Like they type in something, they hit enter, now they're scrolling up and down Google to figure out what they're going to click on to move to the next page. That's going to take anywhere between 3 to 21 seconds. And that has a lot of levels when it comes to AI overview and not within AI overview. There was a study that was done. So it takes between 3 to 21 seconds for someone to click on one link on Google. So you time yourself when you're looking for something that you want to click on and see how much time it will take you to click on that link. And then Do that again, do that again, do that again, and you'll see the difference. So these are some things to keep in mind, so that when you're also showing people or telling people what to click on, when you're using this search console or these analytics tools, the results you're getting feedback on and how much time people spend on your website is important. So if your average time is over if your custom average time is over the general average time, then you have a better over time with your people. And like for me, if on my website in the last 365 days, I can see people spend at least 29 seconds. So that 29 seconds is above the 21 seconds. And it even tells me like users are online. It tells me live recording. It shows heat maps. It's like a security camera for your website. And you can set this up for free on your own. But if you're not getting any activity, you can have a whole security camera and nobody's passing or nothing is happening, and you just have a security camera, but nothing is going on because there's no traffic in between. There's nothing being captured. So the goal is to set it up for capture, but at the same time, drive the traffic and build the red carpet so that people can see and walk on it. So that's how I wanted to look at it today, and not just the techie tools and the free tools, because I don't want these to be shiny objects. I want these to be actual tactics that we can take and practicalize them so we can get the best result for our business. Celeste, we'd love to hear from you too. Good evening.
Sorry. I was multitasking. Hi, everybody. Good evening. I love these evening rooms because the 5, 6 a.m. ones be taking me out. But yay. Sorry. Did you have a question or just saying hi?
I love how you said that with the boarding rooms. I wanted to just ask you what you
She's
think
talking about
about.
mine, Favour, but ignore her.
Yikes. Oh man,
I
we
mean,
love good
hint,
rooms in
hint.
the morning.
No shade. Hint, hint.
Wow. So let's tell us a little bit more about what you see when it comes to free tools and even business owners that you've interacted with, that you explain this term to about Search Console. Is it connected? Is it not connected? Do they understand what you're saying? Are they like, huh? Or are they like, got it?
Now listen, the average person, if you even just mention SEO, their brain just shuts down. Like, so I try not to even say SEO when I'm talking to like a non-SEO person. I'm like, okay, we're gonna talk about how you get found by people who are already searching for what you do, and they're like, they get a little more excited. It's hard because, I don't know if I explained this. So I don't work with a lot of like medium to large enterprises. I work with the average small business owner who's like just starting out. They're either kind of like a fish out of water, no website, like or just got a website, or they're kind of like in the scale phase where they got a website and they're just like, all right, what's the next step? And it's kind of tricky because I don't want to overwhelm people with all of the tools. There, especially now with, AI expanding, there are so many tools out there. So I'm always like, listen, we're going to start with the basics, okay? It's kind of like step one, right? Then once they got that and they're like not crying, then we go to step number 2. So hopefully that answers your question. If I have any recommendation to make, I would just say, hey, keep in mind, there's a lot of tools, but the tools don't work without strategy. I notice there's a lot of people who are tinkering with all these things, but they don't understand like the real strategy behind it. So please, just educate yourself in general on like best SEO practices, just everything on a basic level before you go into like all these 50 million tools, because it can get really overwhelming really fast. So I'll land my plane there, and thank you for letting me chime in. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Celeste. That is so true. Explaining it to business owners and letting them understand it in a non-techie way is the best way, because the last thing you want to do is overwhelm them, and it will just be a no, and you don't want that. You want it to be a conversation that you can be two-way and not one way. Even when I think about it, when businesses, I've also done this as well, speaking with C-suite level business owners and managers, and whether it's through LinkedIn, it's through in-person conversation, or through email, and I'm talking to them about SEO and explaining things. They literally run a whole business. There's no SEO in their day-to-day, but that's what is needed, and we discuss these things. I don't speak of SEO in a way that makes it look daunting. I express it in a way that shows, okay, this is how it's done. And I do it visually because I'm going to say, hey, this website, if you type this on your phone right now, this is what you'll get. And then we'll look at the screen together and I'm like, this is what would happen if somebody in your city was typing like this. And then we'll match and say, is that what you see on your phone? We want to make it very practical. And that way it's easy for them to see it so that when it's applied and when it's implemented and it's done after 3 weeks, after 3 months, you're like, oh, this wasn't here. We have a whole recording because we had a meeting about it. And now we can see later on that, okay, this is happening. We can see it online. It's showing up. You get results and you're like, okay, this is good. So it plays a big role into your discovery, especially now with this new Google update that just happened again, because it's been rolling out. It's a May core update and it's literally debunking AI. If you're using AI for content and you're just using slop on your website, you're going to get debunked or de-indexed or just deranked. So now it's literally splitting the difference, which I'm excited about because it's really going to show who's really doing the right things ethically with compliance and also doing things as a business that's going to help you grow, and you're able to see those things consistently. So using this kind of tools can tell you these things. And when you now look at the spam update that's going on with Google, they're prioritizing fast page loading. If your page on your website is loading for more than 2.5 seconds, you're going to be losing at least 50% of your conversion rates at the gate. That's something I want you to just know. Let's start there so that we don't confuse or wonder, why are we not getting late leads, sales, all those questions. It starts from here. If you put a timer and you see how long your website loads, you can go to GTmetrix with an X.com and you will see your results. If you've never known that, you can check it out and see your results. That will tell you exactly how fast it loads, because if you go to Google loads less than 2.5 seconds. So if your page loads for less than 2.5 seconds, you have a high score. And that plays a big role into everything. So if you have your page loading from 2.5 seconds and below, that's a good thing. And there are tools that allow you to actually see which page is ranking high, which one is slow. This one may have more images. Maybe you put 5 images in this article. Maybe you put 1 image in this article. Maybe your text was too heavy. Maybe you put bold italics. Maybe you put links. Maybe you didn't think about the image file size. You thought, okay, I'm going to put this 3 megabyte file image times 5, that's 15 megabytes, and you wonder why your website is slow or your web page is slow. So these little things, you know how in relationships, little things go a long way? This is literally happening in website form. So the goal is not to just fluff and bluff and publish. The goal is to use these tools and understand what am I doing right and what am I doing wrong. Come to you, Pierre, as well, and then we'll come to you, GA, too.
I want to add to this as well too, because I think your Favor. I think the discussion on the page speed is a terrific discussion. Also, to talk a little bit about elevating the business owner's knowledge base a little bit. I know sometimes people get intimidated by the SEO, but to be honest with you, most things SEO and websites in general are just another form of software task, and the tasks themselves can feel so elaborate that you don't feel like you are the business owner for the product or service that you're trying to do. Again, if you're trying to open a restaurant, you're more concerned about the quality of the food rather than a web page, even though a web page has a huge amount of influence in bringing customers to you, allowing them to order, particularly if you're trying to order something online and they can come to your restaurant and pick it up. So with page speed, one of the things that you can have a discussion about that I think is helpful, there's always certain elements on a web page that can bog things down. It may look great on the screen, but let's say like for an image, for example, this used to be a problem. I don't know if it's as much of a problem as it used to be, but the size of the image, how it gets rendered, might be taking a long time to load that into a browser. So your picture of your top, use the restaurant example of your top menu choice might look great. It might be presenting the food in the way that you want, but from a website standpoint, it may be loading, taking too long to load up. And that does happen. That's actually something that web developers should be checking on for you before they release a new website, frankly. But it does happen. And sometimes that bloat also comes from content changes you're making along the way. Something that might have been really great in how the elements were arranged there may be one or two things you've added to slow it down. And so the idea with this is to use those discussions to highlight what changes are important. And it may be simple changes too. It may not be anything too elaborate that requires a complete redesign. But what simple things can you do to convey your product and service, yet still allow a web page to load under the 2 second threshold that Favor talked about. So as a business owner or as a marketer, be open to the idea that there may be some change, that may be light changes to do. That's one. And two, I would say use that as a conversation piece for a business owner to understand why you're making the change. Most business owners, like I said, they don't understand that websites essentially is just another form of software. And software does require some level of maintenance. It's no different than, again, using a restaurant analogy. Yes, you want to serve your best food, and you probably imagine yourself as a great Italian chef creating all these dishes, but those dishes still need to be served on clean plates. You still need to have forks and knives. You need to have napkins at the ready for your customers. There's still a million things that you still need to learn how to do. And understanding your website is one of those things. You can't. I don't buy the idea that a business owner should ever be totally not oblivious to everything going on. There's some things you need to kind of understand so you can make the right choices and what changes you need to make. And Favor, I hope that helps the conversation. Thanks for letting me join in.
Thank you so much. That is so good. You know, you're looking at it from the vantage point of delivering quality over quantity, and you're using analytics to actually understand what the experience looks like from the other side of the fence or the other side of the room or the other side of the screen. Because when we keep making these changes and updates and all these things, we're just doing them because we need to. But when we realize that the more we're making updates, the more we're creating a backlog, it's going to be more of a conscious decision to make when we have a better way to execute than just haphazardly doing it because we need to make an update on a change that could actually hurt us instead of helping us. So I love that you mentioned that, Pierre. GA, we'd love to hear from you too before we go to the next tools.
Yeah, my website's up. I checked. I checked both of mine, and I got a D and a C and JavaScript, which I have no idea what that is, and I don't know how. But it said it's affecting my performance. And I just wanted to say I tried to do the thing where you was doing the Google console. I came in halfway in, and yeah, I got stuck because I have no idea how to put a meta tag in to the header page of my I don't know. I don't know. You know what? I probably could have Claude do it because I'm clueless about that. But yeah, I just checked mine. And yeah, they both suck. So I got to figure out what JavaScript is. And it keeps saying third party requests are affecting your performance. Got to put that in and figure out what that is and fix it. I
GA,
have, yeah.
why are you stressing about this when we can talk about this?
Oh, my bad. Okay.
What GA meant was help.
Yeah, that's a reasonable help. It's a reasonable help, actually. It is a terrific example. Two pieces I want to add into the meta tags themselves. There's a way to add those simply, but the JavaScript, that's something that you might want to. And I agree with Favor. That's something you may want to sit down with a developer for a couple of reasons. JavaScript, for lack of is basically a language that allows your web page to load certain things without having to reload the whole page. Think of it as the analogy to it. Think of it as electricity in your car. The fact that you can click a button these days and put your windows up and down without having to start the motor in order to do that. That's what JavaScript is designed to do. And depending upon your site and depending upon how it was laid out, you might want to have someone. I know if this is Favor's role, I'll definitely defer to that. But I would say definitely you want someone who can kind of look through it and kind of get to the heart of it a little faster for you. The meta tags are not hard to do. They really are very simple to do. It's basically a HTML element on the page, basically. But definitely, if you have something like that, to that degree, you do need to have someone who can sit down and follow with you on what you're trying to do with your web page. So I'll say that and land there.
Thank you,
And I
Pierre.
just, oh, sorry, go ahead, Favor. No, I wanted to say two things. So Pierre, I'm gonna disagree on the meta titles. Okay, I agree with a little asterisk. Let's put it that way. They're simple to do, but with no strategy, it can be done wrong. This is a perfect example of what I brought up before. A lot of people are just gonna go in and be like, "Oh, meta title. Okay, well, how big is the font? Oh, okay." Whatever, medium, H3, that's wrong. Oh, what do I put there? Oh, just, what is this page about? Oh, that also could be wrong. So I'm not going to give away, the sauce. I'm not going to give that away because that needs to be reserved for the call with Favor. But this is a perfect example of something that, now I know he said he can get Claude to do it, but I'm always going to root for humans, to go ahead and do it. It's a perfect example of something I would not recommend you go in and do by yourself. And you don't even know, what the heck is going on. So yes, please book the call with Favor. I know he actually gives a lot of advice just on his discovery call. So I think it's well worth it just to, reach out.
Yeah, I hear you, Celeste. I think but the meta tag is usually a description on the page, basically. And then when you get to things, you are right. When you get to things like H1, H2, H3, there may be some things you want to have called out in the text for a strategy around a product or service that you're offering on a page. Now that part, yeah, and you can still, and that can still be something where somebody can dig in for you if you are the business owner. All I'm saying though is that I was trying to distinguish between the tags versus the JavaScript, which is programming, which I think you really do need to that's a definite hands off more than anything else. So that's all I was trying to do.
Yeah, the meta tag thing. The only reason why I brought that up is because, he was talking about the Google console thing, and I got to the part of verify ownership, and it's saying that I need to download it. I need to copy the meta tag below and paste it into my site's homepage so that I can verify it. Yeah, don't know where that is. Don't know how to do that. Don't. Yeah, I can write.
Oh, sorry. You're talking about for
Yeah,
Google Search Console, just
yeah,
connected to
that's
your
all I'm
site.
talking about.
Oh,
That was
gotcha.
it.
So we're
I
on
can't
two
even
different things.
verify it, and I can't go no further with Google Search Console because I don't even know where to put that tag. I have no clue. Um, I can write an incredible financial plan and create. I've created 16 apps with AI, but meta tags, SEO, yeah, don't know it. But I can tell you which stocks you need to buy next month.
Ooh, yeah, make a room for that. But in the meantime, yeah, definitely I recommend reach out to Favor. He'll help. He'll help you for sure.
Appreciate you too, GA. Thank you for sharing these things, because when we hit this roadblocks, it's like, okay, how do we do it? How do we fix it? Because once we fix one thing, trust me, there's going to be something else that's going to happen that's going to require attention. So that's why I'm like, let me not just get you down the rabbit hole, because when that starts, Lord knows where you're going to end up, and we don't want that. So we want to make sure everything is clean. It's done in a very preparatory way. It's done in a procedure that it actually makes sense and that we can evaluate and forecast for better understanding to read what we're actually putting down. So that way we're able to get a better response and a better loop over everything. So I'm excited that we are talking about this today. So when you look at Google Search Console, which is basically used for website performance and tracking and indexing, when you have a sitemap, when you have mobile usability, especially when we build websites for clients and for businesses, for brands. And there's a website that we're about to start building, which is very exciting. It's such a whole new concept that I'm like, okay, this is going to be fun, and it's something that's long-term too. So when I look at these things and I'm like, okay, clients are really thinking out the box and they're just dumping their ideas. They're just brainstorming with me. We're talking about this. And by the end of the room, by the end of the discovery call, they're smiling because they're like, okay, I trust you to take this and run with it so that you can come back and do something. And now we're going to meet tomorrow because I'm like, why are we waiting till Friday when they want to do it ASAP? Let's get it done tomorrow. Let's get this thing going because they have a plan to launch at a certain time. So everything is of the essence. And when you're now putting things in place with time, you're able to use your Google Search Console, your website to build the communities and the people you want to serve easily. So it's making even better sense. Even when you're talking about, financial literacy, I would even think about Pinterest. When you want to secure a grant, you need a website. You need a property online. If you want to register a trademark, you need a website. These are things that are going to require essential best practices that can be accessed, that are connected back. And if you're not connected to these tools, it's going to be harder for people to discover. And speaking of discover, I just got featured on MSN. I want to share this with you guys. I think this is something I want to give you. I put it on my Instagram story today, and I said I'm going to talk about it. And I was put in the top 10 visionary entrepreneurship in the future in 2026. And this is for Microsoft and for MSN. So I'm going to put the link in the chat for those who want to read it. I'm super grateful for the opportunity, and a lot's going on and a lot is changing. I'm excited. Thank you guys. Appreciate y'all. Hey, let's go.
Wait, did you already announce the thing? I actually read your newsletter when you sent the most recent one. Did you already announce that too? What you put in the newsletter?
I'm putting that one separately because I want to go deeper into it and give people on the newsletter more exclusive base on it.
No, I'm talking about you told everybody about that yet.
Not, I've said it. I'm going to put both of them. It's kind of like a sandwich because they happen back to back. And for those who haven't heard this, I'm going to be a speaker in Podfest Expo 2027 in Orlando next year. It's one of the biggest podcasts, I would say, conferences in the United States of America. So I'm excited. I'm really, really grateful to God for this opportunity. I've never been to a conference, even as an attendee. So it's my first time going as a speaker. Yeah, it's serious. And I want to make sure I can give people and take time. So we're on Clubhouse having a great time here, but people outside don't know these things we're talking about in here. And when they hear these things, you'll be like, wow, it's not good to be familiar. You have to stay uncomfortable so you can grow and become comfortable like a caterpillar to a butterfly. What's up, Pierre?
Congratulations, Favour, and frankly, you are an excellent pick because you give a lot of good information. So I'm very excited for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think the crazy part is, that's still not even what I'm talking about. You got too much dopeness going on, Favour.
I don't even know.
I talked about you being on the top podcast list. You had mentioned you were on like 3 different ones for top podcasts. I think you said number 1 marketing podcast or number 10, something
There are
crazy
3.
on the list.
Yeah.
But that's what I was talking about.
You see, there's so much happening at this point. I'm just like, guys, I can't even put everything in one email. So I like to split it out so it's not overload. And thank you, Luann. Thank you so much. I appreciate the coins. Thank you, Friendly, too. I was featured in millionpodcast.com. For those who want to hear this and know about this, I was featured in 3 categories. And the first category I was featured number 1 is in the best 20 US SEO podcasts. I was ranked number 1 out of 20. And then the best 90 content marketing podcasts in the US, I was ranked number 2 out of 90. And the best 100 marketing podcasts in the US, I was ranked position 21 out of 100. So I'm going to put the links in the chat. Thank God for Mac. I'm just going to copy, paste. So I'm just copying to my clipboard and pasting it here. Boom. All right, here we go. So if you guys want to get more information like this, click the link at the top so you can get the newsletters because I share a lot of details, really, really deep details. So if you want to get more like this, please, click the link above and that will be right there. So Thank you, Celeste. There's a lot going on, clearly. So I'm just trying to catch up, but at the same time, I'm trying to, keep working. And I think for me, I don't want to just sit and be like, okay, done. Nah, I want to keep going. Like whatever's happening, it will keep happening. But I want to make sure I can keep consistently serving people and showing up where I can. So thank you for reminding me.
You're so welcome. And really quick, I know you got more tools to share, but when's your speaking engagement? You said next year, but when?
It is January 15th. Let me see. Let me see real quickly so I can give y'all the deets.
Because you know I love a good clubhouse link up. Like, it's on the
Oh
West Coast,
yeah.
East Coast. Where we going?
Oh yeah. We're going to the Renaissance Orlando at SeaWorld, Orlando, Florida, January 14th to the 17th. I'm This is the link, thepodfestexpo.com. It's going to be there. It's going to be for 2027, so you can get your tickets. And Celeste, if there's anything happening in the West Coast, let me know. Definitely would love to pull up, to be good to have a good clubhouse connection as well. Meet people in real time. I've met Pierre in real time, in real life. And I'm excited that we have this opportunity to do this. And I've been talking about this, but I feel like now that this is happening, I think I should start doing this more proactively because I want to start hosting in-person workshops and people will have to fly into the city so they can actually be at the workshop exclusively. Paid workshop, get in, hotel, everything, make sure it's done exclusively and you're able to enjoy it. And I'm doing that in a way that's going to be very, very different and so that people can be able to enjoy. I just don't want to give people overload, but these are the things that are coming. So that's what's happening. So thank you, Celeste. These are the places I'll be. So if you want to connect to me, please feel free to do so. It's a free space and it's just gonna be a nice place to be. So that's what we're talking about. If I what's good?
Love it. Congratulations, friend. You deserve it.
Thank you, Celeste. Appreciate you. What's up, if I
All right, what's up with you?
the sauce today we're looking like? What's going down? What's cooking?
I mean, I always have the sauce, so usually, but my sauce. I'm making food for myself, really. So you know, same thing, different day. Financial services. So I run a financial services firm, and pretty much everything you guys talk about in this room are things I do, like at the highest level. So lots of experience with SEO and stuff, and best practices too, because literally had to do it manually. So yeah, I'm in these
Okay.
streets.
Okay. So if there was, let me say this before we go to the next tool. If there was one thing that you've done with these tools, especially like with the console and all these other things, what are you noticing and what are you seeing in your world?
Well, there's so many ways to answer that question, but to scope it specifically to SEO, well, some people assume that because of AI, you don't need SEO, but as a matter of fact, this is when you need SEO the most because you're no longer dependent on essentially trying to rank in the first page of Google. You just want to be on the internet and be found with certain keywords. So these AI tools have really good search results that can help discover your business. You just have to be indexed in these engines. So having to go away from a lot of the industry to I operate from the terminal, so I do things a little bit differently. So, yeah, I get an SEO report. It's like a workflow every week. Sends me a lighthouse report telling me if my site has degraded or improved. I made a change on the site that degraded the site when I put tracking on the site. So because of that SEO report, I was able to catch it and make that update as soon as possible. So, great time to be alive.
Definitely. I wanted to make something that you mentioned, especially when it comes to AI. There was a documentation that was released by Google because I always love to make sure I can give you guys the research documents to scan, research, read, and that was May 15th. And Google literally said in short that yes, is SEO still relevant for generative AI search? Yes, because people say, oh, is SEO dead? Is SEO dead? No, it's not. SEO is literally what you want to cook today. it's those things that are very specific to your search intent. So when people think about SEO and they forget that it starts off with a search, then you forget that the actual reason why you're being found is because someone is searching for something that they're responsibly looking for to find a solution for based on your knowledge or your experience. So that's where everything shifts. So understanding that your website is going to be important for these things are basically the tools that you want to have. Your Google Search Console, you want to have your analytics. These are the things that you want to have right off the bat. And then using these as a point of access to connect with other people, you want to do that too. You can also go a little bit deeper for those who are using products as well. You can go into Google Merchant. That's the third tool as well. And before I go any further, has anyone heard about Google Merchant? And if you have, what are your
Dang, we
experiences
just
with
on
it?
tool number 3. Ooh, y'all been talking, boy.
Trust me, I'm going to run through this thing, Rocky. You'll
I'm
I
be
trying
know
to
like,
it's
stay
gonna
what?
be a
awake.
What's
marathon
this?
room.
I'm running through this thing.
Fight the power, Rocky. Fight the power.
Sorry, Favor. Go ahead.
Has anyone heard of Google Merchant?
Never even remotely thought about using it. I wouldn't know what I would use it for. Maybe my books. I don't know what you would use it for.
When I had the Shopify, um, and I connected my Shopify to Google Search Console, Google Merchant sent me something by way email telling me to connect my products or something like that.
Yeah, it's more like into Google Shopping on the back end. So whenever you type in something on Google and you're getting those little cards on the result page, the rich results, those are within Google Merchant because those are acting as product listings off of your website in form of database inventory through, I can call it, what's the word I can use for this? I can say something, just for lack of a better word, to be in sync because products change every time. They could be in stock, out of stock. So when you have products that are active and you're syncing every week or every day, it's ingested into those servers, which now makes it easy for people to now see. And that's why it's very important to have all your attributes, like whether it's variations like color, whether it's size, small, medium, large, whether it's for teens, for toddlers, for adults, if it's tall, if it's not. Those are the things that are very specific. Your return policy, your terms and conditions, all these things, like you said, Rocky, going back to your website have to be put in place so that when you're now on Google, you're compliant and you have everything procedure wise in completion rather than having it halfway. But most times it's not done like that because people don't go to that extent. But that's what usually happens as well.
Gotcha. And I do want to correct myself. I am in no way rushing Favor. It's just so much good information that I'm trying to stay awake so that I can get so I can get it all. I would say that probably came off really bad, but that's not what I'm saying at all. So just to
Well, if you
clarify.
stopped having these 5 a.m. rooms, you wouldn't be so tired, would you?
My bot just scanned my server for vulnerabilities. Literally trying to get my env environment variables, uh, WordPress vulnerabilities. This stuff literally happens every morning and every evening. But most people wouldn't know that because they never look at their server.
The Google Merchant thing, is that something you can add with Google Ads? Or can you add services as well?
Good question. That's a good question, St. P. Thanks for being here. So Google Ads, Google Merchant are different because Google Merchant is organic and Google Ads is Google Ads. So if you're using Google Merchant, then you are organically ingesting products from your store, whether it's a WooCommerce website, WordPress site, whether it's Shopify, whether it's Wix, Squarespace. You have those products, and those products are organically placed within your inventory from your dashboard. That's organic. So if you want to run ads, those ads are going to be run differently because you're going to run ads within the platform. Same thing like with Pinterest. If you want to have Pinterest, like one of the tools we're going to talk about today is Google Tag as well. So Google Tag Manager, there's also Pinterest Tag Manager or Pinterest Tag. And when you have these tags are firing response codes, and they're responding back to let you know whether this is valid, it's invalid, it's an error, it's a good thing, it's a good link, it's not a good link, and all these things are happening organically. Now, when it comes to ads, you can say, oh yeah, I want to just run 3 products. I have an inventory of 8 products and I just want to run an ad on these 3. Then you do that with Google Ads, where you're now going to Performance Max, you're going to shopping, you're going to all these things. You set a budget, you put a bid, you have your interest, you have all your coordinates, you have your keywords, your negative keywords. You do all those things to set it up because it's a campaign. You don't have a campaign with Google Merchant. Google Merchant is going to give you organic feedback in your dashboard to tell you what type of products people are looking at, so that if you organically start getting traffic from these products listings, you can now run them as ads. But most people run ads completely and blindsided by not even knowing what kind of products people are interested in by impression. So that's where the difference is between those two. Does that help, Saint?
Yeah, that helps.
Great question. Thank you for that. So there are so many things to look into when we now discover ourselves within Google Search Console, within Google Analytics as well, and also within Google Tag Manager. Those are 3. There's also 4, which we talked about, Google Merchant as well. Now we're going to go into Google Business Profile a little bit differently. So this would be what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. And we have about 6 left. So we'll be able to look through all. And there's one I'm going to leave to the end that I'm going to talk about, which will pretty much cover everything here as well. So as we're looking at these things too, one of the major things that I want us to be very positioned with is to understand the next steps that we want to take when it comes to Google Business Profile. Now, Google Business Profile is for businesses, right? Local businesses. It used to be called Google My Business. Now it's called Google Business Profile. So Google Business is a vertical. Welcome, Dr. Fashion. Is a vertical that is going to be highly focused on creating local presence and showing up on Google Maps. That is the primary reason why you are on Google. We did this for a client. They do Airbnb housing. They just got a house for Airbnb. They're booked out the whole World Cup. World Cup is next month and they're booked out. And they got a booking from a whole different country that's coming to watch the World Cup next month in Houston. It's going to be North America. So one of the games, I'm sure they're probably going to be here for it. So now just giving you this context to tell you how Google Business Profile comes in. When someone is in a whole different country looking for a place to go to, and they're looking online and they're trying to discover where they want to be at, they're going to do their research and go to Airbnb, and then they're going to go to Google Maps to know if the 2 products are the same or if the 2 locations are the same. And somebody that just bought a new house, now all of a sudden you look at the Google business listing within a 360 view and it looks terrible, because I think the last update was 2003. So you wonder, someone's going to see that, they'll be like, nah, I ain't going there for sure, because it's not even looking like a place we can't even drive through it. So that in itself is already a problem. So when you're now looking at it from the vantage point of updating your Google Business Profile, you want people to see it in real time. That's why right now there's something called social media updates. Google has released something called social media updates. You can Google this. Social media updates means that if you have a business on Instagram, on LinkedIn, or Facebook, or TikTok, on Pinterest, on Reddit, and you are posting content from your business profile and is confirmed as a business within those social media platforms, your URL, which is your uniform resource locator, is going to be in 2 places. One is going to be on your website, which is going to form as an external link from your site to social. And it's also going to come in the form of being actually on a social media platform by URL. So you're going to have a URL as an external link from your website, and you're going to actually have the actual URL on your site within whichever website or social media site you want to be on. So when you now use this social media update and you're making updates on posts, because that's different from Google Business Profile posts, or updates, that's what they call them. It's different from social media updates. So imagine you're posting content on Instagram, you're posting content on TikTok, and someone is seeing it on Google because they're searching for cookies, they're searching for apple cobbler, like Pierre says. If you're looking for something that's very specific, then you're like, okay, we want to do that. We want to make that specific action come to a reality and want to know who within the city locally is serving this. If I'm looking for pizza and I want to get some wings, or I want to get some steak, or if I want to get some seafood, I'm going to search for these things in real time. And now within Google Maps, there's something called Ask Maps. Has anyone tried this? Has anyone tried Ask Maps on your Google Maps? I use Waze, but I also use Google Maps too. But within Google Maps, there's something called Ask Maps. Have you guys seen this before?
This is news for me too, Favour, but I'm not surprised they've been putting so much of Gemini with a lot of their products these days. So I'm sure that's probably another really good AI influenced feature. Good share.
Yeah, this is a new thing. If you guys just go to your Apple, your Android, whatever phone you use, open Google Maps, right under the search bar to the left, I'm looking at it right now, it says Ask Maps. And you're going to hit Ask Maps and it will say, for me, it says, "Hi Favor, how can I help you?" And then, what can Ask Maps help me with today? How's the traffic on my commute? Free things to do near me. Where can I go for a scenic walk? Good coffee shops open late. They're just giving you examples. So you're going to be there and you're going to prompt this Google Map. And I probably should do a room about Google Maps. I don't know. If you guys want me to do that, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't need it, put a 2 in the chat and we can move on. With Google Maps, if you have a business and your business is within your Google business profile, and your Google business profile is connected to your social media, and your social media is also attached to your website, do you know what that means? It means you've created an ecosystem for your brand that is recognizable by traditional search engines and AI search bots. That's what it means. So you can now easily be the first respondent to a brand or a query or a search or a prompt because you're being cited by a tool. You're being cited by a software, by a website. And these websites are consistently coming back to 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 back. So if you're thinking about these things long term and asking yourself, okay, how am I going to connect all these things? They're free. You can connect them. But where it's going to really play a big role is how you're able to diversify your portfolio, diversify your content, diversify your intent, so that when people are connecting with you, you're able to learn how much more you can give based on how much they are receiving. So using Ask Maps is good because when you put in details and say, where can I go and look for this between this time and they open, let's say I want to watch a movie, but where can I watch a movie that they don't close till 10 o'clock? Or where can I watch this because the movie scenes are between 5 and 7, whatever you want to look for. It makes sense. Today's Tuesday. Tuesday is a good day to watch movies because you can watch movies at a lower cost at some selected movie theaters, right? So Tuesday is a good time or good day in the week to watch movies. The same, Tuesday is a good day to buy flights, right? You can do all your research on these things. So different things tell you, okay, it's Tuesday. I like tacos. Let me get tacos because it's Taco Tuesday. You have these things attached to these things because you're able to know exactly what it does on a weekly basis. So if you have a business and you have a business that people are going to be searching for, then using your Google business profile, if you have one, is going to be good. And using this type of examples allows you to become more expanded on your content servers, which are within your website. And I can call them content signals specifically, because these are where you have to think about 3 things. AI has these 3 things to consider. If you've never heard this, please write this down. There's AI train, there's AI search, and there's AI input. I'm not going to go deeper into those things, but basically you want to protect your content from being trained so that you are able to still own your proprietary information and create content for people to search. So when people now put anything within the inputs, which is a search box, you're able to still show up credibly and you can still protect yourself as a business. So when you now use Google Business Profile, if you need it, you don't have to use it, because sometimes some people say, oh, I'm going to use Google Business Profile so I can start getting reviews. That's a good thing to get reviews, but is Google Business Profile the best platform for you to get reviews? If you are a service-based business, you don't need Google Business Profile, but you can. They're not going to stop you. If you have an address, why not? Totally go for it. Hit the home run. You're totally good. But if I'm looking at this from the perspective of, okay, how am I able to split this and know exactly what I'm doing? It's going to play a big role, because think about this. We've talked about Google Search Console. That's one. We've talked about Google Analytics. That's two. We've talked about Google Tag Manager. That's three. We've talked about Google Merchant. That's four. We've talked about Google Business Profile. That's five. Those are five already that are free, that you can connect and interconnect them together so you have a much better approach. That's one way to think about it, right? Number 6 is Google Trends.
Wait, can I ask a question about number 5 before you move
Yeah,
on?
yeah.
You said if you're a service-based business, you don't need a Google Business Profile. Is that what you said?
If you're a service-based business, you would not need Google Business Profile. If I was to choose a profile to get reviews or to build, I would go to Trustpilot. Or I would go to Better Business Bureau,
Hold on, where's my
BBB.org.
soundboard? Where's my
But the
soundboard?
Google business
Hold on,
thing,
hold
that's
on.
what's helping.
No, go ahead, Rocky. I'm just looking for, why is my soundboard not working?
That's what's been helping me
Oh,
get
here it
business
goes. There we
inquiries.
go.
It's lost its flair when you were looking for it, Celeste.
Because I'm going to disagree with you on that one. I think absolutely you need a Google Business Profile, because there's no better way to find a local business than through Google Business. It's connected to most
Favor, you
smartphones,
set my
iPhones. Come on
yeah,
now.
you
Let
set
me
mine
let me
up.
explain.
That's where I've been getting all my inquiries
Let me
from.
explain this. I want to be clear on this really quickly so that I don't want to make this confusing. I didn't say that you don't need it at all. You do need a Google Business Profile if you are a local business working within a local area that has a local address, whether it's virtual or physical, and you have one. Yes, by all means, use it. It's great for discovery. It's great for visibility. It's great for access. If someone is going to use it for Google Maps, they can find you because you have a Google Business Profile attached to your account. That's a yes. I'm not saying it's not a good thing to not have it, but what I'm saying is if you have a service-based business, right? You can be doing something and you don't have a physical address, you don't have a virtual address, and you want to be on Google Business. That's where it gets tricky, because you need to submit an address and you're not going to submit your home address if that's what you want to
That's
do.
not
Yeah,
true.
you can though.
Yes, you can, because I did it.
But if you think about it long term, I mean, everybody can do what they want. I'm not saying that you don't. That's why I gave a very quick disclaimer. You can do it. I just want to make this clear. You can do it.
Because I verified without an address at first.
You can verify without an address, but here's the thing. If somebody sees your Google
How?
business address, I'm going to come to this because there are two things that I noticed here. And I've seen this happen in real time. When you have an actual address, a business address, Google is actually going to send you a mailbox with a PIN code that you would have to insert into your account to verify your business. I'm really going into this. I don't want you guys to get this misconstrued. You can use it. That's why I said if you have a business address that collects mailbox, PO box, yes, by all means use it. It's important. It's active. And we've done that. We've built that out and it's possible. What I'm saying though is if you do not have an address to list as a business on Google within the business profile, you would rather not use that business profile on Google and use your website, because Google now, based on the last update with the Discover Core update in February, they now prioritize local businesses. So if you're a local business and your website has your address, if you have it, great. If you don't have it, you can put your city or your state. But if you don't do that, it's not going to be easy for you to now point that back to your website. Because at the end of the day, when you now go to Google Business Profile and someone's looking for your business, they see somebody has a phone number, they have an address, they have reviews, they have a website, they have all these things, and then you have your listing there. You don't have an address, you have reviews, they can see it. Now they're like, okay, it's looking like, okay, what's going on here? Because it's supposed to be a complete profile. And you even on Google Business Profile, there's a section that is like a little bar. It says, okay, you have hit 25%, 50%, all the way through 100% to have a complete business profile. And if you don't have an address, your profile is not going to be 100% complete. So I'm saying use it by all means, but at your discretion, if that makes sense. I want to make that clear.
All of this is fantastic, but it doesn't help those of us who couldn't get verified on Google.
You can.
Conception that I know me and you, Rocky, we're both trying to double dutch on in here.
I'm trying to help GA, but go
No,
ahead.
you can't. Okay, I think we're talking about two different things. So you can have a Google business profile without listing your address. You do have to have an address to verify that you're a real business, whether you are working out of your home or not. But once you verify that, you have the option to not list your address publicly and just put the service areas. How do I know? Well, guess what, y'all? I do it. I own a mobile service business where we service at clients' locations. It does not list my address. And I did get a little postcard in the mail, just like Favour said, and verified it. So I just want to clear that up. So you're partially right, Favour, but there's a little asterisk. You don't have to have your address. And also that Google business profile literally makes me thousands of dollars, okay? So I would highly recommend. It's really the lowest, even people who don't have websites, I highly recommend to get a website, but it really is one of the lowest free levels of marketing that you can do to really boost your business, especially if you are a local service-based business. So I want to make sure everybody understands. You don't need a physical address. You can list your service area, but you do have to verify that you're a real business by putting in an address. Okay, back to you.
Answer based on same thing for me. I didn't at first. My address is on there now, but when I first did it, I did not have to have an address. I did have to verify the way Celeste did, but I did have to get on a phone call with Google on a virtual interview or something like that, to where I had to show them my
Mhm.
location and all of that kind of stuff and where I was working out of, even though I didn't list it. And that was very hard to get to. I'm not gonna lie. I had to bug them a few times for them to verify me and get that phone call.
I'm so glad you guys have said this, because the reason and the only reason why I'm expressing it this way is that there are people who will not go to that extent to get verified, and they're going to drop off, and that's going to disappoint them, and they're going to get overwhelmed, and they're not going to do it, and then it becomes a failed mission. So to
Then
avoid
they're
all
not
that,
serious about their business.
that's on them. That's why I said use it at your discretion. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. But if you want to do it, then do it, and do it the right way. Do it till completion. If it can't work and it's not working for you, then no. But if you can do it and you have it, yes, by all means do it. Because I've even put the link in the chat. You can claim your business profile. I just did that. I talked about it for a business. They had a whole different view, 360 view, and now they've claimed that actual address. And when you type in the actual name of the business, you actually drive to the actual business, because the business is active on Google Maps. It's active there because it wasn't there. It was just a plain address. Now it's been turned from an actual address to a business name that you can drive to by address. So it's possible. It's been done. So we're all saying the same thing. I think it's just there was a little caveat there. But the goal of, I'm just trying to make sure that you know that not all businesses can go through this successfully, because of the restrictions. And that's why I didn't want to give you a blanket answer and say, yeah, you can all do it. No, because I want to make sure you can understand what you're about to get into, how you're going to get into it. If you don't even have those details to even get the mailbox, how you're going to do those things, the PO box. So it's a lot of steps before you even get to that finish line that I'm trying to save you on time by just going to other sites alternatively that you can also still get verified and still have business. Not that you can't do it, but you can. It's really at your discretion. I can't even tell you what to do with your own business to begin with. So I'm just here to share the information. But I really love that
Oh
we're
wow,
talking
look.
about this too.
I have social media updates on
There
my
we
I, I,
go.
I
hey,
just
Rocky,
looked. But here's the issue, Favor. It's my cosmetology stuff since I switched to my it doesn't align with my marketing agency, so that's an that's gonna be an issue. I don't know how to I'll figure it out.
I just wanted to say, Rocky, I feel like you felt an influx.
You said what?
I feel like you felt in that influx room.
Nah, don't
I'm
put that
That's
on my boy
crying.
Favor. And you better not be putting it on me, GA. We
no,
can
I'm
fight in these made streets.
tell you something. Let me tell you something. We can scrap it down. I'm just saying. No, I was just like, because here's the deal. People that are in my industry, to be honest with us, most of us, unless we work at like the JG Whitmore office or the Fidelity don't really have offices like that, but the EF Hutton office, what's the other place? I forget about them all the time. They get pissed at me when I forget their name. The other people. Anyway, unless you're working in some place like that, like one of the franchise branches, you don't really have an office because of the fact that we have FinCEN, we have broker, we have about 8 different references that you can check our references. So we don't actually do that part, but I want to be different and actually use Google Business and get verified. I just kept running into that same roadblock because one, my on paper headquarters is in Wyoming. My tax headquarters is in St. Kitts. You see what I'm saying? So literally, I don't quote unquote see clients in that sense, but I wanted to use it and I kept running into that verified issue. So nothing tracks through Google. I don't use Google Analytics. That's a whole suite of things that I could be using. I don't use because Google doesn't let people like me actually play in the game. And that's why I was asking, how did you guys do it? Because I just throw my hand like it was a waste of time. There's a reason why nobody in my industry uses that at all. And
Blood,
that's
sweat, and tears, GA. I'm telling you, it was a lot. So I know where I know if I hadn't done all of that digging, I would not have figured out that there was a number for them to call or to call me. It was a lot. So I wouldn't even know, and I would love to tell you how I did it. I have no clue how I even got them on the phone to do an interview.
well, if I
To
know that there's a number, I probably can find it because I'm like a dog with a bone anyway. And I think I thought I verified with them one time, but it's like now if I go to click, it's like it doesn't follow some kind of guidelines or some crap. And then I go and try to find out what the guidelines are. It says, no, there's nothing to dispute with this. So I'm like, middle finger. But yeah, I want to figure it out because most people in my situation, like private equity funds, they don't even deal with that. They just go check me on broker check or go check me on FinCEN. But I wanted to be different. Thank you though, Rocky. I appreciate you. I'm gonna do it.
This is good. Oh, it's possible it can be done. Even like platforms like even Wix. People say, oh, I can't reach Wix. There's a number to call Wix. There's a way Wix can call you. When you think about plugins or softwares or things that you can use, there are possibilities to make these things happen, but you have to go a really long way to get this done. So most people would not get this done. Let alone be consistent with the platform in itself. So these are things that are important to look at. And I like to voice these things out because they are possible. They can be done. They are being done. I remember when we had a business that we were building, and they're a multinational business, and they have different cities and states, different business profiles within Google, even outside the country. And we're listing them and putting them on different local directories. It's a lot. And I see this and I'm like, okay, now I understand what's going on here. How do you able to map these things out? When you think about searching, when somebody searches for your content or searches for your business within that locality, it's usually between less than 5 mile radius to about 25 mile radius. It can go a little bit over that if you don't see anything within the first 25 miles, but you're able to get something that's going to be closer to you. So when you get those three options, one says 3 miles, another says 7, another one says 15, you're going to pick the one that says 3, or you're going to pick the one that says the least, or the one that's most convenient to you at the time. So these are the things that are going to help you get to that point, because even when you have a business, and like Rocky said, now with social media updates, it has to be connected to your business, because if those business accounts are not interconnected back to your site, and then on top of that, you've connected your Google business profile with the Google account, which is a Gmail. If it's not a workspace email, if it's just a Gmail, that's different. So you can access them on either way, personal or business, but it's going to be your 2FA. It's going to be your two-factor authentication process. So it's just a better way to do things, or an alternative way to find things being done, than just doing these things haphazardly. So these options are available, and that's why they're free. And that's why we're talking about them this way. So we've covered that. And I also wanted us to talk about Google Trends as well. Google Trends is underrated, and Pinterest Trends, I can also say, is underrated, because these platforms, they tell you what's happening, what's going on, and you're able to have more insights on how you can be able to track these things even deeper. So when you have all these external tools and these internal tools to your website, these are the tools that you want to start having. And let me also say this too. The more codes and scripts you have on your website that render in a fast way, that don't clog your website, the better you're going to have responses, because you have a toolbox, you have a website, you have a robust system that's able to track analytics information, endpoints, and also still get information that you can use to become highly applicable and also have high domain authority over time. So when you use Google Trends, you can use Google Trends, go to trends.google.com, and within Google Trends, you can check out what's trending, what's happening, and get to see that for yourself. And you're able to now know what you can use. Now, when you go to Google Trends, sometimes you may wonder, what am I going to use Google Trends for? You're using Google Trends majorly to understand what people are searching for. And we can even role play right now. Can someone give me a word or two, or either on stage or in the chat? Give me 1 or 2 words I can put down so that we can talk about this real quick. I'm gonna see. Let's see if there's any. And then Gia says, "I'm an only child. That don't get to tell me no. I got time today." Gia is on that time. He's like, "Let's go, let's go." Okay. Does anyone have any word or two they want to check, and we can look at it together right now? Put in the chat, or you can say it out loud. I could pick the 2 words, but I want y'all to pick them first.
You mean just any
Any
word?
words, like what would you search for right now? Things change, right? Because there's a search term, there's a topic, there's a newspaper called the press, there's a printing press, and then there's freedom of the press. Now, when you're using words, especially when you're typing these words, this is why I'm giving this example. It's not even about the title or the topic or the interest, it's how it's being typed and what is being represented back to you in the motion of you typing it. So when you now have press on nails, okay, let's go. I'm hitting explore. Okay, so I want to get this in the last, let's say through 2004. Okay, boom. So since 2020, let's see, from like when was the first spike? All right, so between February 29th through March 31st, 2020, that's when press on nails became something that people are searching for. Not that it wasn't there before, but when I look at the dashboard from 2004, it's the first spike was 2007, specifically May 31st through June 30th. Then it went on another spike in 2012, May, June. They did another spike August, September 2012, and then it was silent. And then 2016 again, February, March, and then September, October 2016, and then 2017, and it just kept on bouncing. It wasn't really like stagnant, consistent. 2018, same thing. Let me see where else. 2019, and then it kind of picked up some steam between May, summer of 2019, went up, came back down again, end of 2020, and then started picking up again at the beginning of 2020 into 2021. And ever since 2020, I'll say the last dip was January 31st. The last zero actually was January 31st through February 29th, 2020. After February 29th, 2020, from March, there's never been a dip. And up until now, press on nails has been searched for consistently for the last 6 years. So when I now when I scroll down, it tells me there's top queries on the left, and then it tells me rising queries to the right. So there's a reason why there's top queries and rising queries, right? Top queries, by definition, are the most popular queries in the specified location and time period. They are scored on a relative scale where 100 is the most searched. So right now, press on nails is the most searched, but it's changed by -3%. And then there's press on nails. So there's press on nails without a space, and then there's press on nails with a space. And the one without the space bar is the one that has more traffic, has more interest. So what am I going to do? I'm going to create a URL that has a press on nails without the space. So it's going to be press on dash nails instead of press dash on dash nails. So when you now do that, you have press on nails. And when someone types that in to Google, and you have a page that's going to simplify that from the first tool that we talked about, which is Search Console. That's how you first get discovered, all the way through now with Google Trends. You can go back and forth with these tools, and you're able to now know, what am I missing? What am I not applying? There's lead press on, there's kiss nails, there's press on nail, there's glue on nail, there's fake nails, there's acrylic nails, there's impress, there's best press on nails. These are different things. And now there's rising queries. Rising queries, by definition, have the biggest increase in the specified location and time period compared to the previous season. So if you realize that in the previous season it was a negative and now it's a positive, like right now, how to remove press on nails is up by 10%. So now if you're in that business, Rocky, and you're doing that with your website, then this type of question is going to be where a lot of people are going to go to TikTok, they're going to go to Instagram, they're going to go to YouTube, they're going to check out these different things. Now imagine you having this on your website and you're controlling that question, or you're part of that conversation because you have something to show on your website that actually explains this from a social media standpoint. So you have let's say a TikTok video or an Instagram video, and that is on your website, but at the same time being on your website, it's also showing up on Google because you're connected when someone's looking for a social media update about press on nails. So that's how you're able to connect the end to end together. But that also would be very technical to do because every system is different. Not everyone is going to have the same system, but it's very dependent on how you're able to set it up. But that's how you're able to find that. Does that make sense, Rocky?
Oh yeah, and you've helped me because I do have that website. Ha ha ha. Yeah, no, I just have to revamp it. So no, I appreciate it. But I am gonna go off to bed now because I have to get up again early in the morning. So great room as always. I appreciate you, Favour.
Appreciate you too, Rocky. Have a good night. Thanks for being here. So we have all these tools. We've talked about the Search Console 1. We've talked about Analytics 2. We've talked about Google My Business 3. We've talked about Merchant 4. We've talked about Google Trends 5. We've talked about the Tag Manager, which is really good for tagging scripts, tracking scripts, firing events, making sure that you have everything set up and you have all your customs in place. And Google Tag is also great, let's say if you use Pinterest or other tools, because you can connect through Tag Manager, which can also integrate to other platforms too. So that's how you have 1, you have 2, you have 3, you have 4, you have 5, you have 6. Now, when you look at 7, this is a tool that's going to be very helpful for you as well when you look at your business in 2026. Answer the Public is a good platform to be on. That's 7. Answer Socrates, that's 8. Google Keyword Planner, which is there, you can use it if you want to. That's also available. That's 9. And then you also have Google Alerts. That's 10. Now, as a business website, the reason why you have all these different tools is because these tools are going to tell you way more about what's going on. And you're able to have more discussions and also understand where it's going to take you to when you're not looking for the right information that's going to source back from your site. So if you use Google Alerts and you're using it for certain keywords or search terms that people search for with search phrases, then that's where you want to have those in place. So these are the tools that you can use. They're free. You can check them. You can scan them. They're available and you can try them out, but they require a process. They require implementation. They require study. And if you don't study them or not know how to make them work together, it's going to be hard to piece them together when it needs to actually have that synchronicity with creating more responsible relationship links between your website and other sites. So I'll give you an example. So if your website is yourwebsite.com/fill in the blank, you're going to take that link and that link is also going to live on another platform. You might take that to LinkedIn and might post on LinkedIn. You might be on Threads and post on Threads. You might be on WhatsApp, post on there. You might be on TikTok. You might post that at the beginning of your profile link. Now, all those things that are happening, even if you put it on YouTube, those links are being created because you're technically doing the same thing that you would do on your website. Because when you go to your website, you're putting links to other sources, right? So when you're now on YouTube and now there's a section where you have social links or you have web links and you now put a link to your website from YouTube, you're creating an external link from youtube.com to your website.com. The same way you would put your YouTube link from your website.com to youtube.com, which is also an external link. So either way, you're creating that bridge. And when you create that bridge together, it makes more sense for people to now find you. And that way it's not confusing. It's actually applying more tools to your toolbox, if I can put it that way, to get more results. And I'm going to go to the 11th one. But before I do, Pierre, would love to hear any thoughts, questions, contributions. Feel free. The mic is yours.
Ooh, hey, thanks, thanks, Favour, and good that you did this too. I'm actually getting ready to jump off here in a bit because I woke up a little early this morning and just kind of had not really rested today. A lot of great tips and a lot of great tools, and I think even just when we were talking a little bit about the Google profile a little bit, I know that with you and Celeste and Rocky, everyone's kind of having a lot of discussion about. The settings. I think that's a big part of what business owners need to keep in mind. You really sort of need to sit down a little bit with the tools you're using and get some familiarity from it. So that way, part of it is not just knowing how to use them effectively in your business, but it also helps in asking for SEO help. There's going to be a point where you may need to have someone dedicated to sit down and go through everything with you. It doesn't have to be like the next day or a weekly basis. It could be, if you're producing a lot of content, it could be a quarterly basis where you sit down and go through it. But you will need to kind of at least form some questions to ask somebody rather than just saying, hey, just go look at this. That's the one thing I think that you want to be very careful about. I think you want somebody with any sort of SEO, when you ask for help, it should be someone who can follow along with your business. They even might have specific industry experience that might help you with the Google profile that Favour talked about a little bit earlier. They might have suggestions for use cases that can filter into your SEO plans for keywords, your SEO plans for keyword phrases, and what to use for within your content and your website elements. These are the sort of things that can be of help to you. And a lot of times SEO, I don't think the person has to be a perfect, industry match. I think as long as they follow along with you and ask good questions and help draw out the right information with you, I think that will go a long way in keeping your profile visible online. It will go a long way for helping your customers discover you. And the other thing is, I'll say this briefly, one of the other benefits from SEO is that SEO is kind of like that, search is really like that first layer of marketing. There's other layers like with social media ads, digital ads within online. All those sort of things build on top of the SEO. It builds on top of search to either fill in gaps or to help with reach on your message. So you do need to kind of dig in. So my overall message to everyone is, take a look at these tools that Favour has brought up. All of them are terrific. And at least get yourself familiar with them enough within your business. So that way it can help you on your search, or if you need to have SEO help or marketing help, you can kind of ask the right questions that can get you moving forward. And with that Favour, I'll be quiet here for the rest of the time. I'm actually going to jump off here a bit, but thanks for letting me join in, and as always, and again, congratulations on the presentation. I'm super excited for you. You're one of the best people out here, and I'm just glad that that's happening for you.
Thank you, Pierre. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I'm always excited to be here and spend quality time with you guys, because this is one of the moments I really love to share information like this and be there, be consistent, and show up and be present. So thank you so much, Pierre. I appreciate that. Guys, this is the last tool of the night, and I saved this for last place. I don't even call it last place, really, out in terms of the order of giving it to you. But as far as understanding where this is going to come to, this will make a big difference, because all these tools are a lot. They're a lot. We've covered a lot tonight. And before we go, I want to share this one tool with you so that you can check it out and then ask yourself, out of these 10 other tools that I've discussed, if you're not on this 11th tool, then you maybe have missed a step or two, or maybe all of them. So it's good to look at them, and not all of them are going to apply to you. Let me just say that, because you may not need the Google Business Profile or the Google Merchant. You may not need the Google Tag. Those are things you may not need. May means that you still could have them. It doesn't mean that you don't need them. It's something that if that's what your business is required to do or to have in order to have a successful business, by all means, yes, these are all tools that you can apply to. Now, with this last one, it's going to tell you where all these other things I've talked about, whether it's a business profile, whether it is a listing, whether it is a shopping cart, whatever it looks like, it's going to show up on this platform. Now, this is the 11th platform for the night. This free tool is called SERP API. That's SERP API.com. SERP API is, and they say it on their website, it's Google Search API. And below that, it says scrape Google and other search engines from our fast, easy, and complete API. So why is this so important? Because you're going to get real-time results, you're going to get accurate results, and you're going to get JSON results. I won't go too deep into that, but you're going to get these results, and these results are going to tell you about your site, where it is, where it's showing up, and you're able to understand what this looks like when people are searching for you. I remember saying earlier today that it takes between 3 seconds to 21 seconds for someone to make a decision to click once on your website from Google. So if you're going to look at these numbers of factoring these things, then the goal is to ask yourself, how am I going to use these searches to make them better for me? Because you may not apply all of them today. Definitely not all of them today. If you can, great. But if you're listening to this and you've been taking the step and you've been rewinding, you've been forwarding, you've been getting to understand what this is and you're doing for yourself, hooray. I'm happy for you. I want this to work because we all need to do this. I feel like the better everybody gets to do this for themselves, the same way we wake up in the morning, we get dressed, we get ready, we get prepared, and everybody has a good day. If everybody's doing the same thing, then we'll all be excited because we're all taking care of ourselves first. You have to be in a position to be of service, but you have to serve yourself first. You have to put yourself in a position so that you can be of service. So why am I giving this reference? So that when you're creating content, wherever you're using your social media or your search platforms, you want to come back to this platform and ask, okay, I'm going to search for this. You can even search for your own business name and see what you see on the results, or just go directly to Google. But if you want to say, oh, what do people see me look like in this country or this city or this state or this place, you can use this platform and you can be able to see the results, because you have three sections. You have the search query where you can put your query. Then there's another section that says location. And under location, you can put any location there and it will tell you exactly what you're looking for. And it's a much faster way for you to even process, because you're able to say, okay, this is what's going on. And you can even search by zip code. You can search by state. You can search by city. You can search in all these places. So that way you're able to now know, okay, this is where I'm searching. So if you have a local business profile and you search on this platform and you don't see your business name there, then you wonder, okay, why am I not on this platform? Because I have a business profile. Why can't I get there? And because I'm not there, what else is there that's pertaining to me? Is it my website? Is it my profile? Is it my shopping? Is it my merchant? What is it? So these are some things to just look into and just check for yourself. So once you hear these tools, I've definitely given you over 11 tools tonight. We've covered a couple others too in between. But these tools, when you hear them and when you want to use them sparingly. Don't waste too much time on these platforms to the point where it's overwhelming, but set them up if you can. Go to YouTube, check out the videos, check the tutorials, check out the shorts, but get it done. But if you want to now implement this and take this and scale it and want to be able to know exactly how to customize it to base your business on a really good trajectory, then click the link above. Let's get on a complimentary SEO discovery call and we'll discuss and talk about this for 30 minutes. And before those 30 minutes are up, we're able to understand exactly what the next step is so you can get to know what you need to do with your business. And I'll be able to tell if you've connected your website to the Search Console, because it's available. I can see it. So if you've connected it, great, it's there. If you haven't connected it and you're not sure, we'll find out and we'll both see it. So that way you're able to also know what's going on and you're not oblivious, you're not blinded, you're not blindsided, you're in straight view and you're in the right direction that you want to go for your business. So if there's anyone that has a question, now is the time to ask. You can put in the chat or you can raise your hand so that we can talk about this. But if you have a pink ticket, and I see you guys as well here, thank you for being here to the Marketing Club. Thank you for being here, Lorenta, Stella, Abby. Thank you for being here, Nelly, Jerry, Queen, Lou, and also Ergub. Thank you for being here. Please click at the very, very top that says Marketing Club. Join us. We have 354.2K members here. So we are here actively and we're always connecting. So if you want more rooms like this, feel free to do so. And the fastest way to connect to me when I'm on this app, if you're available to spend time here, then you can click on my face. And once you click on my profile to the right, you'll see notification settings, which are the three dots, the ellipsis. Tap on always so that you can get to hear me speak whenever you want to get information like this and we can talk about this in real time. So I'm glad we talked about this and build it long term so we can actually be able to do this for our business over time. I'm seeing something in the chat. Jerry said Uber, Lyft, Google is the best. Yes, Google is definitely a great place as well. If you're on these platforms, it's very important to factor in these things because these tools are going to help you. And there are so many tools out there you can be on if you want to be seen, if you want to be visited as a website, as a user, even as a bot. How do those things interact with your site? You have to think about all these different metrics. and then use all of these metrics to build out everything that you need for yourself. So thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you as well. Mataba, Greta, thank you for being here. Welcome to Clubhouse. By the way, I see you got a party hat. Welcome to Clubhouse, and I hope you have a very exciting time. Amua, Eka, Al, Soul, Jasmine, thank you for being here. JP, Danielle, Dr. Fashion, Mr. Chris, thank you for being here as well. Teaching Tools and Luan. I hope this helped you guys. If it did, if this night helped you, if you're able to get something, please put a 1 in the chat. Let me just see this, because that's a big response to me that tells me that we're here together, we're listening, nothing was confusing, and we're getting this thing together. That in itself is the little thing I would ask for, just to know. And I really appreciate you guys for being here as well. So thank you for responding, Al. Thank you, Mr. Chris. Thank you so much for being here as well. And you're welcome, Al. This has been great. This has been a great room, and I'll do more rooms like this and discuss more topics so we can be able to have more experiences along the way. So until then, guys, have a wonderful evening. Enjoy yourselves. Stay safe, stay warm, stay blessed, and I'll see you guys in the next room. Take care. Bye for now. Welcome to season 13, where you listen, you live, you learn, and you earn. A lot of information is always given on this show. So we're in the 13th season. God has brought us so far, and I just want to thank God for the opportunity to connect with you today on such quiet, calm space like this. So thank you for listening. Know that Jesus loves you, and know that you can always connect with me on the We Don't Play Podcast show. More specifically, go to wedon'tplaypodcast.com, or you can go to playinc.online. That is PLAYINC.online, and get in touch with me. Let's get on a call. Let's talk. Let's focus on SEO for 2026 and beyond. So until we meet in the next episode, God bless you. Jesus loves you. Stay hydrated, stay safe, and stay blessed, and stay tuned. Bye for now.